Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
My name is Russ Crittenden with Banks Page-Thues Funeral Home, and you're Allison Metcalf. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Allison Metcalf, and I'm the Marketing Director for Mission Oaks Assisted Living and Memory Care Community. And my job is to help people find a good alternative to living at home when they can't do that any longer. That's my day job.
Okay, well, great. Well, I met you at a meeting the other day, and I was very intrigued by your passion for helping the World War II veterans get to Washington, D.C. to see their memorial. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Honor Flight is an entity that started in 2004 in Springfield, Ohio by one man who realized that World War II veterans were not going to have an easy time getting to Washington to see their memorial, which only opened in 2004. So Honor Flight is an attempt to fly every veteran that's willing and able to Washington, D.C. for the day to see their memorial.
Okay, who can go on Honor Flight?
Honor Flight is open to any veteran technically, but right now the focus is on World War II veterans because of their age and infirmity and the fact that the memorial just opened. So as long as they are willing and able, they're a World War II veteran, and they've never seen the World War II memorial, they can go.
Okay, that's fantastic. What does the typical Honor Flight look like?
Well, typically an Honor Flight leaves a local airport, and here at the Villages area, for Villages Honor Flight, we're going to try to do that out of the Leesburg Airport. And you get on an airplane, you fly to Baltimore, you get off at Baltimore Airport and get on a couple of buses. You bus into D.C. for the day. You see the World War II Memorial, and at that time there's usually a ceremony. Usually your congressman is also present and active duty personnel. And then from there, you leave and go to the Korean Memorial, do a little bit of a drive tour around D.C. to see the Iwo Jima Flag Memorial, things like that. And then you end the day at Arlington at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for a special changing of the guard. And you get back on the airplane and fly home.
Well, that sounds fantastic. How much does it cost?
For us in this area, the Villages, Lake Sumter County area, it's going to take we think about $60,000 to do this flight. We're hoping to take 50 veterans with about 50 support personnel, maximum of 100 people, and our estimate is about $60,000 for the entire trip.
Do the veterans have to pay for their flight?
Absolutely not. Veterans cannot pay for their flight. Escorts, volunteers that go and help on the flight itself must pay their own way, but veterans do not pay their own way.
When is the Village Honor Flight scheduled to Washington, D.C.?
Villages Honor Flight right now is scheduled for April 16th, 2011. That is a tentative date because we do not have our airline settled yet, but that is our target date at this point.
You said April 16th, 2011.
Yes. April 16th, 2012.
Let's do that
Let's do that again, yes. Sorry.
When is the Villages Honor Flight scheduled to Washington, D.C.?
All right, the Villages Honor Flight for Villages, Lake, and Sumter County areas is at this point scheduled for April 16th, 2012. That's a target date. We don't have everything finalized, but that's our plan at this point.
And how can people help Villages Honor Flight?
Well, the primary way people can help is with money. And my motto is every dollar counts. Now, if you want to do a large donation, you certainly can, and it's tax deductible. You do it through the American Legion, which is technically Veterans Memorial Post 347. But anybody can send $1 or give us 50 cents. It doesn't matter. Every dollar counts. That's the primary way. We also need volunteers to go as escorts who are physically capable of helping someone in a wheelchair for the day, because a veteran might need a wheelchair. It needs to be somebody who can tolerate an 18-hour plus day helping someone out. We also have volunteers for the send-off at the airport before they leave and to welcome the veterans home when they get back home.
Talk a little bit more about the folks that go as volunteers, the focus.
The escorts that go do have to pay their own way. We're asking for $500 each from them. And what they have to understand is they're paying for the privilege of escorting a World War II hero who sacrificed much of his life and his health, and sometimes her health, in order to give us the freedoms that we enjoy now. And that means you're not going as a tourist if you're an escort. You're not there to sightsee. Your job is to help the veteran or veterans that are under your care for that day have a beautiful experience before they come back home.
That's great. Why should people support the Village Honor Flight?
My philosophy is these guys are truly our heroes. And without them, we wouldn't be sitting here able to do an interview like we're doing right now. We wouldn't have the freedoms that we have if our veterans from World War II didn't do what they did. And this is a small way we can repay them.
And how can they contact you to get support?
There's a couple of ways you can get in touch with me. The primary way is through the email for the Honor Flight, which is villageshonorflight@gmail.com. You can also call me on my cell phone, which is 352-446-2900. And you can also visit our website at www.villageshonorflight.org. And there is a link for the email there as well.
Okay, why don't you give your cell phone number again?
My cell phone number again is 352-446-2900.
Allison, tell us about how you got involved in this. It's kind of interesting for someone your age to have a passion about that.
Well, I've been a senior here my entire professional life, and really honestly before that, as a teenager helping my grandmother. So I have a passion for seniors to begin with. Secondly, I did most of my school hours at the University of Florida, my volunteer and internship hours at the VA in Gainesville. And at that time, there was a small nursing home attached. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I got to know quite a few World War II veterans. We also have World War II veterans in my family who have all, passed on at this point. And I would have liked for them to have been able to see the memorial. I got involved in Ocala, with the Ocala Honor Flight when I worked there, with fundraising events and that sort of thing. And when I got to the villages as a professional, I realized it was something we needed here. So that's how it started.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Russ.